When you build a community-driven business, people start seeing this as their sanctuary. They view the gym, they view CrossFit Access. It's up there with their church. It's a place where they can come and forget about the world for a second, unload a lot of their stress, talk to like-minded people. When you're on the gym floor coaching, you're equal parts PT, equal parts coach, equal parts mate, but also counsellor. We have a coaching trinity, and empathy sits at the top. When we coach our classes, we must lead in with empathy first. Right, physical fitness, it's been proven. Everybody actually already knows this. Physical fitness, the stuff that we do when we break down our body, the enzymes that change in our body, the enzymes that are released in our body, all of these things have such a massive effect on our dopamine levels. The remote guys, the ones that are really, really remote.
Drillers, exploration.
Correct. They don't have access to that. The work is hard. It's dirty. The campsites aren't these plush, preem, almost resort-like that we get.
Welcome back to another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Today, lucky enough to be joined by Aidan Dawson from CrossFit Access. Obviously, we're in July, last month's Men's Mental Health Month. There's no reason that men's mental health should just have 1 month. Glad it does, but it's an all year round thing. So, mate, thank you very much for joining me.
You're welcome. Awesome to be here.
Mate, we always start every episode off with I say mate, but really we're bros. We've known each other from high school.
100%.
Way back in Hamilton, New Zealand. Mate, life and the times, I know most of it, but for anybody viewing this, give us a rundown.
Yeah, cool. So obviously grew up in New Zealand. Yeah, love my rugby, love my wakeboarding, very active, heaps of sport. And then as the sport, or as we get older, sort of the sport waned away, got into my professional career, which was architectural draftsman. Did that for a little while. Yeah, that kind of set me up. And then opened my own business. Yeah, so was only drafting for like about a year.
And that was, your drafting was here?
No, drafting was over in NZ. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So all in NZ, started drafting, was there for about a year, and then thought it'd be a real good idea to go out on my own. Yeah, true entrepreneurial spirit.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Did that for a little while, got super successful in that. That was pretty cool. And just as that was kicking off, thought, man, better go overseas. Haven't done any overseas, haven't even travelled. So shot off over to London. We were there. This is now 2007. Yeah, 2007. Shot off over to London. Got into the same scene over there, architectural drafting, but in the commercial side. And then the GFC hit, the big 08 crash, yeah? Yep. And there was no housing market, no nothing back in NZ, nothing, everything was dead.
Well, it's changed now.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, yep. And so Perth was the only place that had work, literally the only place that had work. So I had enough money to either risk it and stay in London and hope I found a job before the money ran out, or take the money that I had in the bank and get a ticket and take a one-way trip to Perth. And that was it. I had to make Perth work, yeah. It had a housing market. It was still going off. So it showed up in Perth, and here we are, yeah. Obviously, during that time, drafting, it's just a desk job, yeah. Stop playing sport, stop doing wakeboarding, stop doing all of those things. And just sat at the desk, boom, jumping on with Ruben, playing Xbox, yeah. And things just got round, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Dad bod, as they say, yeah. So that story continued for a little while until we went over to Thailand, had a trip over in Thailand. And when we got back, because this is back when we used to take photos on a real camera, yeah, not digital, yeah. And got back, got a whole bunch of photos printed, and as I'm flicking through them,
I think I've got that one.
You've got to drop it. You've got to drop it. As I'm flicking through, I see this photo. I'm just like, who is that dickhead? And, and I was like, oh no, and I didn't even recognize myself, bro. Yeah. And I guess that was probably, in terms of fitness, that was probably the turning point. That was when like enough was enough, right? That was enough is enough, yeah. And so I sought out and got some fitness. So I got a PT. He trained me up. I got some really good results with a PT, but it's super, super expensive, you know. And he was also a fellow Kiwi, yeah. After about 3 months or so, got good results. He had to shoot off back to NZ for, he was relocating. And he goes, dude, you've got to go give CrossFit a try. Go give it. It's like playing rugby. It's the camaraderie of rugby, but without like all of the cons of having a game day. You got to go to like structured training, rah. Anyway, it's a long story cut short. went to CrossFit Perth, it was back in the day. And
Where were they?
Still is. In Joondalup. Okay. Yeah, still there. Still there. Changed owners now. Yeah.
Yep.
But still running, which is cool. And went there and just fell in love with CrossFit. Just loved it. It just filled my cup, gave me everything I needed. And yeah, like I said, like awesome results. And then
did you try and get into the regionals? How far did you take it?
Yeah, look, back then I was just like I drank from the Kool-Aid, and once you like that's saying
CrossFit's known to be a little bit
culty,
right?
for sure. And once you start CrossFit, all you want to do is talk about CrossFit. Like it's like the reverse Fight Club, yeah. And and that was it was legit like that, and it was like that for many years. And I did, yeah. I never made it to regionals. I was never that good, but still loved doing it locally, competitively. That was fun. But the competitive side of CrossFit's like it's 1% of what we do. You know what I mean? Like if we even look at my gym now, only 1 to 2% of our gym's population actually do it competitively. The rest of them is just like mums, dads, everybody that just wants to be there to look good or feel good. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I was at CrossFit Perth, probably there for about a year or so, and got some really good results. But had to develop a whole bunch of systems myself. Had to figure out my own nutrition. Had to figure out all these bits and pieces. And once I'd done it for me, I was like, well, that actually wasn't all that hard. Yeah, it's just learning something, putting it in place, and then rinsing and repeat. And then I was like, I reckon I can do this. And so, yeah, got my CrossFit certification, opened up a gym, and that's where there's a longer story to just than that. I had an old business partner, we went pairs, and I went and opened it up together, ended up buying him out, but there's a whole nother story, right? Yeah. But anyway, I ended up with CrossFit Access. And
what was it like building CrossFit Access in the early days? Because you went 1, 2, 3.
We went 1, 3. Yeah, we went 1.
No 2?
No 2. Yeah, no 2. Again, that's another long story. Yeah, I'd love to share that one day. It's actually quite funny. Happened by accident. But in the early days, in the very, very early days, building, at the start, it was super easy. It was just build it and they will come. Literally, because it was still brand new. There was only at the time when we opened, there was only 12 other CrossFit gyms around. Now there's over 50 in the state, yeah. Wow. And it literally was build it and then we come, yeah. And which is why we went from 1 to 3. We were confident, yeah. I was confident in myself, probably a bit egotistical. In fact, a lot egotistical, yeah. But yeah, went to open up a second location because the first location was doing good, and accidentally went from 2 to 3, and that's kind of when the wheels fell off, yeah. That's kind of when, like in Perth, I never use the word saturated because we physically can't have enough gyms. We just can't have enough gyms. But at that time, there was enough choice, yeah, for this whole build it and we will come approach didn't work anymore, yeah. And then that combined with having like 2 other locations, all I was doing was bouncing around place to place, spinning plates all the time. You know what I mean? I was really good at running 1, and I was really bad at running 3. Yeah, I hadn't developed enough. I guess CEO maturity to figure out how to manage people and do all that correctly. I just wasn't ready. Yeah, and then COVID came. Yeah, and luckily enough or unluckily enough, depending on which hat you want to put on, it took away 2 locations. Yeah, and that was right around the time where I just met my now wife. Yeah, and also a really good business mentor. And those two factors just absolutely changed the face of CrossFit Access. Going back to 1 location and having a good business mentor develop some skills with us, and also a wife that was keen to just like throw hands in and just get it started.
Awesome.
Was huge. Because I never had that support before. It was always just me. You know what I mean? Like I just needed having that extra wingwoman. Yeah, was just a fucking game changer. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Ren, she's she's an introverted extrovert, if you know what I mean, or extroverted, whatever you want to look at it, yeah. And so when we first started, this part's really important. When we first started, she took over sales, right? And this is this quiet little thing that would just like jumping into a sales role and actually having to communicate with people just freaked her the fuck out, man. Like she was like so scared, right? But Shane gave her some really good skills. Shane, my business mentor from Saya, he gave her some really good skills, mentored her through the process, and then, man, she just fell into this role. And we were sitting in roughly around about 100 members at Wangara, which is like, it's just enough to get by, right? Within 1 year, we hit 200. She doubled all by herself. She smashed it, yeah? And now with that skill set, now, boom. Unstoppable. Now she's working for True full time. Like that's her role. She just loves that relationship building, sales representative. Like she just loves that role and kicks ass. Yeah.
Awesome. Mate, beyond the workout, so CrossFit Access is known as a community builder. So you guys have won awards. You guys have been nominated for awards. So let's go into that.
Yeah, we've been lucky enough. We won the Say a Business of the Year award. We won the CrossFit Gym of the Year award 2025. So that was a pretty good achievement. We got nominated for 2026, just missed out by 12 votes.
Who beat you?
CrossFit Manticore. Yeah.
Where are they?
So Manticore in Osborne Park.
Okay.
And funnily enough, they're actually run by an old coach of mine. So yeah, which is awesome. It's kind of like, it's like shit that we won, but still cool that an old coach from that spawned from Access is now good enough to win an award. So that was pretty cool. Good on to them. But yeah, what else have we won? Ren got nominated for Business Manager of the Year award. So that was awesome.
Well done.
And we got nominated for Event Organizer of the Year award as well, which was running all the events. Running all the events, which was cool.
Wicked. Mate, let's get into the importance of Men's Mental Health Month. Right, so obviously last month, June, as you and I have discussed at length, like the amount of times you've seen people and spoken to people struggling, just like myself. The importance of fitness and good nutrition and being able to speak to your mates and being there for others when they call on you. Give me a little example of something that you've been able to help someone with. I mean, you've got heaps of them.
I got hundreds. So the whole the example is probably CrossFit Access itself, if you know what I mean. And I know that sounds really cheesy, but when you build a community-driven business, people start seeing this as their sanctuary. Yeah. So they view the gym, they view CrossFit Access, that's as up there with their church. You know what I mean? Like it's a place where they can come and forget about the world for a second. Yeah. Unload a lot of their stress, talk to like-minded people, and we all share that same common interest. Although the whole gym is so vastly different, like so many different personalities, but yet we all commingle. You know what I mean? And so I can't like this. Like I literally can't give you like a one dead set same person, but every single person that walks through that door is using the facility as their outlet. Yeah, and I guess like one way to think of it from an economic, like if you take an economic view of it, some hard times right now, right? Yeah. Like real hard times. People are getting rid of every single luxury expense that they can. Yeah, we are not seeing that happen in the gym, in my gym anyway. We're not seeing a slowdown. We're not seeing people cancelling their memberships for financial reasons. Like we don't see that. And so what that's telling me is that as hard as the times are getting, where inflation is through the roof and rent is up and costs and like all of this.
Imagine trying to buy a house.
Bingo, right? Yeah. That people are seeing the gym and their gym membership, which ain't cheap. Like when you look at it, like it's not a $9. I mean, there's $9, but our membership ain't cheap, right? But people are viewing that as a necessity, like so high up on their required, like their requirements that that is an example in itself of how much these people need the facility or value the facility as their outlet. So that would be my example for sure.
Beautiful, mate. What about starting a conversation? Like people have come to you and said, "Hey, look, I'm struggling. What can you help me with?" Or what do I do? Give me an example of someone coming to you.
Mate, it's when you're on the floor, right? When you're on the gym floor coaching, you're equal parts PT, equal parts coach, equal parts mate or bro, yeah. But also counselor, yeah. In that moment, there's something about coming in and doing hard work, coming in and putting some effort down on the floor, whatever that looks like for the individual. It is very much like going into battle, yeah. And then once that workout's done, there's like this moment where everyone just lets their guard down for a second.
A little bit of clarity.
A little bit of clarity, absolutely. And in those moments, as a coach, you get approached all the time. Hey, man, I'm really struggling today. Yeah, and then I can't do this today. I'm struggling with this movement today. I just have got no get up and go. Only takes a couple of questions. Just say what's going on in your life. That's it. Show a little bit of empathy. Yeah. We have we have a coaching trinity, as part of our coach's creed. And empathy sits at the top. So when we coach our classes, we must lead in with empathy first. Once we've sorted that, once we've asked them how their day was, seen, have they got any niggles, all of that sort of stuff. Then our next protocol is make sure that they leave the gym with a smile.
Amazing.
Ask them how they are first, leave with a smile. Only then, once we've done those first two and secured those, only then are we open to coach. Because we can't coach if we don't know what they've been through that day. And if they're not leaving the gym with a smile on their face, well, they ain't coming back. So I can't coach them again. So we've got to knuckle down those first two first, and then we can start the coaching. The coaching's like actually third. We've got you got to lead in with empathy. Because we lead in with empathy, those are those moments where people are having a hard time. There's one example, I can't go into the details because it'd be very obvious with what happened, right?
For sure.
But there was one example, I was on the floor just recently, and I could tell that this person was not having a great day, for whatever reason. And I noticed this across multiple days. I said, hey man, what's going on? Like, is everything all good? And what I found out is he had a real tragic moment. Kids were taken away, for whatever reason or another. And he was really struggling. And so then now it becomes not a coaching moment. It's like, hey, dude, are you actually okay? And then what we have to do is we put in checks and balances with our other coaching team just to make sure, hey, is this person actually doing okay? Keep a record, make sure that, are we seeing an increase in behavior, an increase, or are we having to jump on the phone to Lifeline or something else and be like, hey, we've got a problem here, and that just comes with the job. That's part of what we have to do, which is why we've got to lead in with empathy. And the reason why I'm telling these stories is because physical fitness, right? Physical fitness, it's been proven. I could rattle off study after study. We don't need to. You guys already know it. Everybody actually already knows this, right? But physical fitness, the stuff that we do when we break down our body, the enzymes that change in our body, the enzymes that are released in our body, all of these things have such a massive effect on our dopamine levels. In fact, I would go as far as I don't reckon I've ever seen anyone come into the gym, do a workout, and leave unhappy. If you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
Maybe unless they drop their PR weight, then that's understandable. That's understandable. But it's proven so many times how important physical fitness is, that it's something that definitely needs to be leaned into and definitely needs to be put at the forefront of not just men's mental health, but mental health in general. And we're seeing that in practice now. We're seeing that in GPs are starting to promote more physical fitness rather than just opting for the stuff in the bottle. Yeah. So, it's important.
Look, you got to throw nutrition in the mix.
Got to throw nutrition.
It's so important. You can't just sit back and hope for the greatest mental health if you're out there on the piss all the time, or you're just eating rubbish food all the time. You've actually got to work for it as well.
You do. Yeah, you have to. Yeah.
Mate, let's get into mind, sight, fitness.
Let's go.
So you guys are doing something really cool. I know that there's actually not many other companies out there doing it. And I don't want to give away all your trade secrets, but you and I both know how important it is. You've got people in your gym who work FIFO. You guys have FIFO deals going on, but you've also got FIFO equipment.
Correct.
Don't you? So
correct.
Rip into that, mate.
So look, we've got an opportunity where we're developing containers, sea containers, and fitting out sea containers. So look, like the mine sites, when you've got a camp, everything's done for you. It's there. Show up, you fly in. There's an awesome, other than the wet room, the weights room or the gym is the second most used facility. Yeah, the remote guys, the ones that are really really remote,
drillers, exploration.
Correct. Yeah, they don't have access to that. Yeah.
So but they should do.
More so.
Yeah. They're remote. They're not around everybody else.
Correct. They're isolated, right? Yeah, that's really good for your mental health. Yeah. The work is hard. It's dirty. Yeah. You're on, like the campsites aren't these plush, preem, almost resort-like that we get at the moment.
Not any ones that I've ever been to.
Exactly, right? Exactly. And so probably even more so. And I know that they have a physical job, like they're out there drilling, they're already doing a workout, right? But there's guys out there that froth the gym when they come back from site, they froth the gym, and then they've got to go out there and they got to drill. It's important that we still facilitate those guys that are really so driven that they need to be able to work out. And so there's an opportunity there where we can grab a sea container, ready made, ready built, ready set up, aircon, the whole lot, and just go, boop, drop it on the site, and off they go.
Hook it up to their gen sets, and then
you've got it.
Amazing. That's amazing, mate. I hope that works out for you. Looking after FIFO workers in your gym.
Yes. So we make it really, really easy. Yeah. With every single swing option that there is, 8 and 6, 2 and 2, 2 and 1, like whatever your swing is, we facilitate that by discounting their membership. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. So for example, if you're on an 8 and 6, I forget what the percentage is. I think it's 63. So
we'll leave that to Ren, mate.
We'll leave that to Ren. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. No, actually, leave that to me now because I've just taken over the reins full swing.
Really?
That's another convo for another day. But yeah. But we have a discount, and so basically when you're away, you're not paying, and then when you come back. The reason why that's important is for our facility, when you go away, you've still got the option to obviously train. You've got your campsite, you've got your camp gym, and when we come back, we want to make sure that they're still in time with our programming. So by keeping their membership active but discounting it when they're away, it means they've got access to all of our workouts. They've got access to all of the strength stuff that we're doing. So we really encourage everybody that when they're away on site, still hit the gym. You might not feel like doing the full workout, but at least get the strength components done. So that way, when you do return, you're not returning to a big jump in the percentages with their weights training, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Are you guys also doing like nutritional coaching for people that are going away to a mine site? Because it can be difficult. You've just got a Bain Marie in front of you. There's options of bacon and eggs for breakfast every single day.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know, is there meal options available?
Look, we're really lucky. So with our membership, we have we call it Nutrition Basics, or the outer shell, Yep. We have an in-house new nutritionist, She's also one of our coaches. So her name's Nixie. Go check her out. In a nutshell is her tagline. So go check her out on Instagram. And she's our in-house nutritionist. And
we'll chuck her information.
Yeah, chuck her information. Definitely worth a shout out. She's really, really good. And so she works with any one of our members, and obviously anyone outside of our membership cohort, with anyone that's interested in helping their nutrition, and that includes anyone from, doesn't just have to be mine sites, but like mine site specific for sure, easily done. She can develop because her approach is so flexible. Her approach is super flexible, not regimented inside of these 4 like little wee walls. She teaches you what you need to know, and gives you the tools to be able to do it yourself. So when you do go up to the site and you're seeing all these Bain Maries of all these good food, you can make educated decisions whilst you're up there on the fly.
Yep. Mate, I want to get into it's a little bit life in the times, but I just was thinking about it. Your passion for absolutely everything you do is just it's amazing. The way that you talk about your family, your blended family is amazing. So tell me about all 4 of your boys.
So like I said, so me and Ren met just before COVID. And we're a blended family. Yeah. I've got 2 boys. Ren has 2 boys. And my 2 fit inside of her 2. Yeah. So if we go from youngest to oldest, we got Miller, who is Ren's. Then we've got Zach, who is mine, Lockie, who is mine, and then Hendrix, who is Ren's. And the statistics are stacked against you, bro. They are stacked against you. Yeah. So
absolutely.
Look, I'm going to throw a number out. I know it's in the 90s, but I can't remember specifically. Someone can fact check it later, but it's super, super high. It's like 90-something% of all blended families fail.
Why do you think that is?
I reckon it is, for the most part, and I'm not no psychologist or psychiatrist, right? But for the most part, I reckon it's the inability, or people's inability to, what's that word? Compromise. To compromise. Yeah. You've got to be willing to work with your partner. You've got to be willing to find middle ground. Yeah. But also you've got to be willing to 100% put the kids first, even before your own needs, or before you two, because you're going through a honeymoon period, right? Like when you first meet someone, what do you want to do? You just want to spend all the time you can with them. So it's so easy in that euphoric, I'm still in that euphoric moment, but
How many years later?
7. I'm going to go say 7. So 2019, 2020. When did we get married? We've been married for 2 years. Yeah. But around 2019 is when we got together.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. But yeah, still in the honeymoon period. But man, you know what made us work? I'm just going to tell you, it was Ren. It was 100% Ren. Yeah, it was 100% Ren. She always put the kids first. She mentored me through putting the kids first. She taught me how to put the kids first. And when we did that and made it all about the kids, we always just worked it out afterwards. Yeah, we've got an unlimited amount of time. We can see what's being played out in front of us, and all we have to do is just be patient. Yeah. But because we put the kids first, when tensions were tight, like they always knew that mum and dad got my back. If that makes sense, yeah? And so if you can't do that, if you can't compromise with your partner, figure out each other's parenting styles, yeah, I had to really soften. I had to really soften a lot. I was a hard dad at the start. I had to soften a little bit. And by having that level of compromise, we just made this cohesive family group where all of the boys now feel comfortable. They can talk about anything, completely open household. Really, now what we've got to do is just monitor their electronic time, and then the rest is
every single parent,
right? Yeah, and the rest is easy. We've done the hard work. Yeah, we've done but it wasn't easy, bro. It was not easy.
Mate, beautiful wife and 4 amazing kids. That's a testament. Well done. Look, last one from me, Ado, is what does the next 5 years hold for CrossFit Access? Goals. What are we looking at?
So we, other than really cementing CrossFit Access as the best CrossFit facility in WA, yeah, we've won the award once. I won it again, yeah. Beautiful. But other than locking that in and just being a gym that other CrossFit facilities look up to, right? I really, really, really want to deliver fitness to where, and this sounds so cheesy, but I really want to deliver fitness to where fitness is needed most. Yeah, I look at CrossFit Access as a vehicle. And there's so many opportunities with the NDIS, inside of our 4 walls where we're not running classes. There's a whole window there, but also delivering fitness to these remote areas. Yeah, that would be cool. That would be my next, like, cement us as a vehicle, cement a base, and then start pushing that CrossFit Access fitness out to where it's needed most. Yeah.
That's amazing, mate. Look, thank you very much for joining me. Much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Give my regards to Ren and the kids.
I will for sure.
Actually, Ren was sending me some amazing photos so I'll make sure we chuck those into the episode.
Cool. Awesome.
But thanks very much, mate. Look, I also want to help you with this gym sea container venture, because I think, look, we've got some amazing mining clients out there. I have heard that some of the drilling companies are always looking for something that they can do rather than just something they can do after hours. And
cool.
And this might be it.
Awesome, mate. Look, put me in touch. Let's go have some conversations.
We'll do.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bro. Thanks very much for tuning in for another episode on the Gold Room Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell.